everybody. I'm Diane Russell, and I'm an educator for So Study. I am so excited to be here and to share with you and invite you to a new class that I will be doing in 2 weeks. It's called Spinning Mashup, and it is so much fun. If you are a new beginner, you will be able to follow right along with us. If you have done some ruler work and you want to take yourself to the next level, we will be able to accomplish that as well. And there will be a pattern available in conjunction with the class. So, spinning mashup, what does that mean? Well, let me tell you a little story. When I fell in love with ruler work, I fell in love with the So Steady Spinifex rulers. They quickly became my favorite rulers. And the reason they became my favorite rulers was because, first of all, there's so many different designs that you can do with the ruler, and they come in a lot of different sizes. So I started doing just, regular Spinifex designs, and they are so gorgeous. I also incorporated them with template quilting, which is absolutely phenomenal. But then I started thinking, what if? I am the queen of what if. What if I tried this? What if I tried that? Sometimes I do absolutely beautiful work, and other times, not so much. But I always love to try, and I love to try new things. So I decided that I was going to try putting together a couple of the different Spinifex rulers in different sizes so that I could see what kind of designs I could come up with. So here's one just to show you. This one is done with a couple of different size rulers. I started with an 11 and a half ruler, which is the largest size they come in. And I went down to smaller rulers. And I also decided that I was going to try switching and flipping the rulers around. So as you can see on this particular ruler, let me put this right on my glider mat. So this is the Spinifex number 12. This size happens to be the 9.5-inch ruler. You can see that it has two different shapes. Normally, you're putting it down. Let me just lower this. You're putting this down so that is the center point, and then the rest of the ruler is marked going outwards towards your block. So I use these rulers in different ways. I will use the ruler like this to get the look that the ruler is supposed to get. But then Westerly did this all so that you would get your maximum value out of your rulers. The rulers are designed so you could use the center point either pointing out, which is going to give you a nice sharp point, or you could use it the way the ruler is designed, where it's more of a curved point. So that's what I've done. And I've also mashed up a lot of the different rulers so that you can see what the rulers will do. Now, the reason I did this was because you can get so many of these rulers in so many different sizes that sometimes it can be overwhelming. I wanted to take the guesswork out of it just so that you could concentrate on some designs. And the pattern that is going to be included is going to have 4 different patterns to it. So you are going to get a step-by-step guide on how to do 4 different patterns, which would make an absolutely beautiful wall hanging or you could use 3 of the patterns and make a table runner. You could use one pattern and you could make a tote. This is actually going to be a tote for a friend of mine. Her favorite color is coral and blue. So I used a blue variegated thread and I used the coral background. And this is going to be a tote for her when I get finished with it. So I'm going to show you a couple of the patterns that I'm going to be doing. I also just wanted to touch on what you are absolutely going to need if you want to start your venture into the spinning mashup world. The first thing that you're going to need, of course, is your ruler foot. That is the most important thing. So your ruler foot comes in a high shank, a low shank, or if you're a long armor, you have a foot that you use for that. You always sew with the needle in the center position, and you are always going to be sewing a 1/4 of an inch away from the needle. We'll do more and learn more about that as we go along in the class, but your ruler foot is the most important thing that you need. If you have a Bernina or a Janome, those machines, they actually have ruler foots for specifically for those machines. So this machine I have here is a Bernina and it has a 72 foot. And then I also have a Janome in the other room and I have a special foot for that that's the ruler foot. So you're absolutely going to need your ruler foot. You're also going to need an acrylic table. Now, the acrylic table is going to give you, and you get to see what's underneath my acrylic table. I have all my bobbins, my duckbill scissors, I've got a pencil, I've got my lint brush. So an acrylic table is vital for doing ruler work. The reason for that is you need a big work surface. And we make a lot of different tables that are absolutely fantastic. And we can make a table to fit any make or model of a sewing machine. So whatever machine you have, all you do is send us the information and an acrylic table can be made for you. The acrylic tables are great. They're beveled. They have a beautiful beveled edge. Most of them have at least 5 legs, and the legs are all adjustable. So you can move the legs and it will fit the flat bed of your machine. So you really need an acrylic table. And then the only other thing that you absolutely need is this beautiful glider. So this is a ruler work glider. It's made by Sew Steady. It is made out of a polyester material. It's actually polyester, not like a leisure suit, but it's a very thin material. The back side of it is sticky, and the top side of it is a beautiful glider. It has a cutout for your ruler foot in the same shape as your ruler foot, and it covers most of your work surface. And we have a couple of different gliders. I love this glider because it's beautiful. It's a clear green. It's a pretty color to work on. And I do a lot of ruler work at this machine. I also have a grid glider that has a grid attached to it, and it's in a 1-inch grid. And let me just show it to you. So this is the grid glider. So if you have a machine where you do a lot of piecing as well as ruler work, you might like the grid glider because it has all the markings for 1 inch, and then it even goes smaller. It also has a 30, 45, and 60-degree angle. It's got a bigger opening where your ruler foot goes. See how big this, here, let me just slide it under. See how big the opening is? That exposes your feed dogs. So if you do a lot of piecing, then that's a good thing to have. And it's got the markings for 1/4 inch, 3/8, 5/8 if you're a garment sewer. So it also is the grid glider, as well as just the plain ruler work glider. So you need the acrylic table, a glider, and the ruler foot. That's the most important things you're going to need. You're also going to get a supply list, which will show you all of the rulers that I will be using in the class. And you are going to get, you'll get instructions, all written instructions go along with the pattern. I'm going to show you a couple of the different patterns that we're going to be working on, um, because I think you'll really like them. And one of the other things that's going to be great about this is I am going to teach you how to design on paper as well as how to design on fabric. The reason I do this is because I have a lot of Spinifex rulers, but I'm not really going to know what they're going to look like when I mash them together. So I started doing some design work on paper first and taking the different rulers and doing different rotations. I'm also going to teach you how to use a crosshair ruler. And the crosshair ruler is actually, it falls under the category of a must have, because with the crosshair ruler, that is how you achieve the beautiful points and the beautiful precision. So if you don't have a crosshair ruler, I would suggest getting the 8 rotation crosshair ruler, and you can get it either in an 8.5-inch size, or you can get it in a 12.5-inch size. Either one will work. If you plan on going out to a lot of classes when the world starts opening up again, then the 8.5-inch one may be a little easier for you to transport. I use both. So either one is going to give you the same effect. The 8.5-inch one, you're just going to have to draw the lines out a little further. And that's something I'm going to teach you how to do as well. So this is one of the designs that we're going to be doing. And this one it's my number one design. I haven't named it yet. I'm hoping that once I start putting this together, it's all going to come to me. I always like to name my patterns. So this is one of the designs that we're going to do. And you can see that it's got pointy ends. It's got graceful curves. It's got a lot of places that you can cut out. Now, if you've never done template quilting, you may fall in love with doing template quilting on this particular class. Let me just show you. So here is one design. This is another design that I did, and this one I did template quilting. So if you have never done template quilting before, let me tell you how cool it is. It is a form of raw edge applique. And what you do with template quilting is normally when you're doing samples like this particular one, you are sewing with a back layer, a batting layer, and a top fabric. Okay, that's how you normally would sew your design, and it's gorgeous. Template quilting takes it one step further. That takes a back fabric, it takes your batting, and on all my samples, I use cotton batting. You can also use a cotton poly blend, or you can use a polyester batting, and that'll just give you a little bit more loft. But on the template quilting, you have your backing, your batting, then you have what I named the peekaboo fabric. So the peekaboo fabric is this blue fabric that's in here. And then you have a top layer of fabric, which in this one is my white fabric. And what you do with template quilting is, because you have 4 layers, you can cut away the top layer to reveal the peekaboo fabric to give you a whole different design. Now, for this specific one, I ended up doing 2, and on this one, I used my top fabric as the batik, the blue batik, and on the other one, I used the white fabric as the batik. See those two, how different they look? Well, guess what, folks? That is the same exact pattern that I used, but I cut away at different places. Look how cool that is together. And this is something you can do. You're going to be getting a lot of information. You're going to be getting a pattern that has 4 different blocks. So you could take those 4 different blocks and you could make multiples if you wanted to do the template quilting. This is the same exact block that I did, only I cut it away at different places, and look how different that looks. Totally and completely different. So you're getting a big bang for your buck with this class. You're going to learn how to do these patterns. You are also going to learn how to design on paper before you put stitch and thread to fabric. And you're going to learn 4 different patterns for your mashup. And you get all the directions, you get all the instructions, you get all the supply list. So you're getting a big bang for your buck with this class. So that's one of the patterns that we're going to be doing. This is a second pattern that we're going to be doing. And this particular one really lends itself beautifully to cutting out within all of these designs if you wanted to do template, or this pattern just stands alone as something gorgeous to do. This particular one was only done with 2 different rulers. So how cool is that? You can buy 2 different rulers and you can make something that stunning. So this is one of my favorite blocks. I absolutely love this block. So I'll show you a few more just to whet your appetite. Sarah, do we have any questions? Okay, so here's another one. And this one is done using, I believe it's 3 rulers, but hold on one second. Let me check my notes. Oh, this one is also using only 2 rulers, but it gives you beautiful places. It has sharp points. It has these graceful, beautiful curves, and you're learning how to use your ruler at the maximum capacity. And that's what Sew Steady wants for all of our classes. We want you to be able to learn from the ground up on how to use all of these rulers and how to use them so that you get different multiple looks from one ruler. So this is one of my favorite designs, and I'm going to show you. This is where I drew it out. So you can use just plain old sketch paper, or you can use, this is a 12-inch graph paper. And we're going to be working on all of our blocks. We're going to be working with the 8-point crosshair ruler. And I'm going to show you how you can mark your fabric so that you can differentiate between what blocks or what ruler goes where. So I've got a great method for that, and I'm going to be teaching you that method as well. Um, and that's just going to help you differ. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. Differentiate between what ruler you place where, because that's what gives you the totally different looks. And I believe that Sarah is posting the link to the event for the spinning mashup. The event can be found on sewsteady.com. You can go up to the tab that says events and pull out the spinning mashup, and you can go right in. It'll give you, you can go right in and you can sign up for the class right there. We're also going to be having giveaways. So there are going to be giveaways. There's usually 3 giveaways that we do, and Stacy and Sarah give away really good stuff. So as long as you're entered in the class, you will be entered in the giveaways, and that usually is announced a few days after the class. So that will be part of the class. You can also share the link if you have friends that quilt like I do. Share the link with them by all means, because the class will be available for viewing for 4 weeks. You get the discount for 2 weeks. You are going to get a 10% off discount for 2 weeks after the class is viewed. Or, I'm sorry, after the live class is done, then you are going to get you'll get the 2 weeks for the 10% discount, and you'll be able to watch the class multiple times as much as you want for 4 weeks. So you'll be able to take advantage of the first time you watch it, sit back, enjoy it. You can ask questions, and we will answer the questions live. Either Sarah or Stacy works along with me, and they answer the questions, I answer the questions. So you can sit back for the first one and just watch it live and get your questions answered. If you can't watch it live, if it's at a time where you're working or you have something else go along, then you have 4 weeks to watch it. And if you have any questions, all you have to do is go into sewsteady.com, go under educator, look for my name, Diane Russell. I have a black and white photo. I think I'm the only one with a black and white photo. And my email address will be in there, and all you have to do is email me. I love hearing from people that have watched the classes and taken my classes. It makes me so happy when people actually get a hold of me and they have questions that they want answered. So I'm available all the time for that. So here's another one. I'm going to show you a couple more.
And
Hi,
Diane,
Sarah.
hi, can you hear me okay?
Hi.
Hi,
Yeah,
good.
I can.
We did have a question. Would this be a good class for a beginner?
It would be, because I am going to be going step by step, and I am going to be available to you after the class. You will have my email address, it's on the supply list. This is not hard to do because I share a lot of tips and tricks. So, a beginner, yes, I think you would be fine doing this class. I would also encourage you to watch one of our ruler work for beginner classes. We have quite a few different educators. I am actually doing a ruler work. Again, you can find this information on the events page of the So Study website. I'm going to be doing a ruler work for beginner class tomorrow. And I believe I have 1 or 2 next week and the following week. So if you're a true beginner, Feel free to sign up for this class and you will be fine with it, but also take advantage of the ruler work for beginner classes. Those are usually free because they're sponsored by different quilt shops. So yeah, you'd be great with this class as a beginner. Any other questions, Sarah?
And this is a single session course, correct?
Correct. This is a 2-hour class. A pattern will be available with the class showing 4 different blocks that I've made, 4 different designs, and you can watch it for up to 4 weeks. Eventually, this class will be going on the university. We have a great resource with university classes, a lot of different educators, and they're wonderful. So this class will be part of university. We're
Okay.
just doing it first through this.
Nice. And I think, and everyone, our website's going to be updated shortly. A lot of folks are asking what templates are going to be featured in the class. And I know you provided you can show us some now, and we will also update the website. So right before you pay for the course, it'll be listed below. So you can see if you already have it in your stash or if you're going to be ordering more.
Perfect. So I can tell you that right now, we are going to be featuring, hold on one second, because something just changed this morning. So I'm just writing it in. We are going to be featuring, and I'm going to put this up here so you can see it. Spinifex rulers. We're going to be using the number 8 ruler, the 11.5 inch, and you can screenshot this as well. We're using the number 8, then we're using the number 10, and we're going to be using the 3.5, the 5.5, and the 7.5. Then number 12 Spinifex, we're going to be using the 9.5 and the 11.5. And I'm going to show you all those rulers right now, but I wanted to put this up that way you can screenshot it and you will have the basic supply list. It's got the 8-point crosshair, glider mate, spacing gauge. Absolutely need a spacing gauge. The ruler foot, and then optional is the 4-inch arc that comes in your template sampler set. It looks like this, and that is optional. That is what I used when I did the template design. I used the 4-inch arc, and I also used the 12-inch arc. Now, the 12-inch arc, if you don't have a Bernina or a Janome and you're buying the actual ruler foot, the 12-inch arc comes with it. So that's a nice little added bonus. But these two are optional simply because I used them in my template design mashup, but I did not use them in my regular design mashup. So that's
Are you still there, Diane?
one more thing, and that is the different rulers. So this is a number 12 Spinifex, and this one is the 9.5 inch. And hold on, I want to get a little better piece to put these on. I always find that if I put the rulers on a piece of black cardstock, you can see them better. So that is the 12-inch ruler that is 9.5. And then I also have the 12-inch that is 11.5. And that looks the same exact thing, only it's an 11.5-inch ruler. We have the number 8 Spinifex, which is one of my favorites. The reason it's one of my favorites is because it has a pointy end and it's got a more rounded end. So this is the Spinifex number 12. And this is what the design looks like when you are pointing it correctly with that part out and this part at your center. So that's what the design looks. But if you flip the ruler around, you'll see inside the instructions that that's what it looks like. So it's got a little bit different shape than just the pointy end. It kind of goes in and out. So that's one of my favorites because I love to play with that ruler, and I love to play with the different sizes. I actually own the Spinifex number 8 in all the sizes that it comes in because it is one of my favorites. So this, just to show you, this is the Spinifex number 8, the 3.5 inch. And I'm also going to be using the Spinifex number 10. And that is, hold on one second, let me grab one of those. That's another ruler that I have in a lot of different sizes. And it looks kind of like a football, but it's a little different at each end, which is really cool.
Hey,
So
Diane.
that's why I designed this class, so that you didn't have to go out and buy every single Spinifex ruler in every single size, but you could learn how to combine the two or three Spinifex together to get different looks, and how to design on paper as well as how to design on fabric.
Hey, Diane.
So that's what we're going to be working on.
Can you hear me?
And I hope you can all join us because it is going to be a lot of fun. I am so excited about this class. Sarah, were there any more questions?
Can you hear me okay, Diane, now?
Oh, we might have lost Sarah there.
Oh,
Well,
hello.
she's working behind the scenes, and she's getting the website all set so that she will post the link.
Can you hear me?
But again, remember, if you don't have the link, all you have to do is go to sewsteady.com, go under the events, and you'll be able to click into the event Spinning Mashup, and you will be able to sign up for the class.
Can you hear me now, Diane?
Also, take a look at some of the ruler work for beginners. If you are a beginner, you always learn different tips and tricks. They're great classes. And like I said, they're normally free of charge because the stores sponsor those.
Can you hear me now, Diane?
That's another great way to get really good education.
Diane, can you hear me?
And my email address is under Diane Russel on the educator page.
Can you hear me, Diane?
So be sure to, if you take the class, be sure to find that. And that
can you hear me,
if you
Diane?
have any questions, all you have to do is give me a call. So I think we are going to wrap up. Sarah, are you back by any chance?
Can you hear me?
Nope, she's okay. She got called away. So I would love to thank all of you so much for coming today. And I hope that I've whet your appetite and got you excited about doing ruler work and using the Spinifex rulers and all the different fun stuff you can do with them. And I hope that I see you in 2 weeks for the class. So thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.